Helldiver number 8273 really liked the snow. He loved the snow. But since he couldn't make it home for winter freedom, his second favorite thing to do was to make do.
Nailed it.
Reginald here. You may not know this, but there's a secret stratagem in Helldivers 2 that's so powerful I can't even show you what it does to a Bile Titan, or to a Hulk, or to an Annihilator tank. It's simply redacted. A weapon so powerful, it might even surpass the Patriot Exosuit. That weapon is the Snowball. So grab some biscuits, because I'm about to show you how to serve up a nice cold cup of liberty. As approved by the Ministry of Truth for release to the Helldiver Corps, on screen is the datasheet for the ICE-32 Snowball. All information that has been allowed to be released has been released in this sheet. Study it thoroughly so that you can understand what this weapon is capable of. Before we go into the stats of this weapon, I'd like to outline a few special details. These weapons can only be found in deep snow, and sometimes require a bit of finagling to get out of the snow. You might need to lay there for a minute, perhaps smash the E button, or wiggle around until you find one. Sometimes snowdrifts just don't have them, and the damage on this weapon is inverted. Against lighter targets, it serves only to stagger, disorient for about 1.43 seconds, but on larger targets, as you've seen, it does more and more devastating damage, up to 9 billion damage. The penetration of this weapon is full, as in any and all armored targets. It has a fast rate of fire, as fast as you can throw them in fact. A fire limit of 1, magazine capacity of 1. If you throw one of these, you'll need to find another before you can reload. The reserve capacity is merely the supply of the snow available on the terrain. Reload time is 1 to 20 seconds, maybe more. Really depends on your luck. The supply pack and ammo pack restore 0 of these, as they cannot be found in any ammo pack that we know of. There is a recoil, but not in the traditional sense. When an enemy target is struck, it inflicts a cold slowdown and status effect on you, Helldiver. Key targets include fellow Helldivers, who are immune from damage, but will delight in the democratic process when struck by one of these snowballs. Chaff enemies are easy prey for this weapon, as it will allow you to weaken them before delivering the final blow. Heavy enemies, well, I can't show you that. And finally, the enemy commander himself, should you ever reach him. The role of this weapon in your kit is that of the savior of freedom. It embodies all of the virtues of Super Earth and all of its best qualities. Know this, Helldiver, if you equip this weapon, you'll be delivering justice that day. In general, its performance is beyond adequate, stellar, fantastic, extremely excellent. Let's get into tips, tactics, and idiosyncrasies. Let's talk tips. This weapon can, in fact, stun bots before they're able to launch flares. It's also useful against enemy bots who might be trying to shoot you. It cannot damage enemy mines or snowflowers. However, when struck, these things will deliver the self-slow effect. It cannot damage a Tesla tower, though it will also deliver the self-slow effect to you when struck. It can penetrate friendly dome shields and bubble shields. The snowball tends to fire a bit high of the reticle, so you'll want to aim a bit lower than your intended target. This weapon also has an arc of fire, and so you'll need to learn it in order to get good. This was not tested, but I suspect this weapon cannot open shipping container doors. Let's discuss tactics. There's really only one key tactic you need to know. You're going to want to maneuver after acquiring this weapon to a position unseen by the enemy, or to an enemy that is isolated from the rest of the enemies, and then deliver your payload. Try to stick to cover and leverage corners to fire from safety. The only idiosyncrasy you really need to know about this weapon is the one about getting it out of the snow. You need to find a body of deep snow in order to harvest this weapon. And then, to the best of my knowledge, the best way to actually get one of these is to stop moving while crouched or laying down for at least 20 seconds or so, and then smashing your use button seems to sometimes work to get them to spawn, and sometimes not. I'm not sure what the criterion are exactly, but sometimes they just don't show up. If that's the case, you'll want to move to a new snow deposit. That is all I have for you on this particular stratagem. Thank you so much for visiting, and happy April Fools.
That's perfect.